Welcome back to Barrel Brothers, and this week we're talking tech with BBS LMs and Autostrada Modernas. Stay tuned. Autostrada Modernas and BBS LMs, German wheel, Japanese wheel. I know it sounds Italian, but it's not. Well, Autostrada's a Italian, German wheel, doesn't matter. Anyway, these are both very good quality wheels. They have a few little quirks, and there's one dumb thing that people do to both of them that is just dumb. Alrighty, let's start off with the Modena. Autostrada Modena, and it is Modena, not Modena, okay? The reason for this is this is a copy of an F40 wheel, Ferrari F40, and Modena, the town in Italy, town in Italy, is the birthplace of Ferrari, which is why this is called Modena, okay? Not Modena. I don't care what Matt Damon says in Ford versus Ferrari, it's Modena. Look it up. Anyway, these are a very cool wheel actually. They are, well, they come in 16-inch, 17-inch. They do come in 18s with a different centre, but this centre is common for the 16-inch and the 17-inch for the two-piece and the three-piece. These particular ones are three-piece. You see the join there. Three-piece, but you'd sort of call them seven-piece because, like, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I can't get that out. Could stick you on the side of the road. There we go. 7. All right, there's all your bits. Now, why do I like these? These are really cool wheels. The 16-inch, the 17-inch, the two-piece, and the three-piece all use the same centre. So you can quickly convert a two-piece into a three-piece. You can either buy lips and barrels for them, or you can cut the front off, like put it in a big lathe and cut the lip off and then make up lips for them, because all the centres are the same, and they are made for a double thickness there, so it's no dramas. They all use the same centre. These bolts here, and there's 40 of them, if you pull these away, don't throw them away. Those are high tensile stainless steel, okay? They're really good bolts. The nuts aren't, and they go rusty, but they're M7s, they're pretty easily replaced. And that's these guys. I'll put that back together. Let's have a look at the LM. A lot of these you'll see like this, and they're missing the all-important Modena. There is people making replacements for these now, but they're not alloy. These are the originals, they're alloy. And the clips, there are people making replacements for these too. That one actually needs tightening up a little bit, so it fits in, it comes off quite easily. But yeah, if you've got these, they're hard to get, they're hard to find. Even those plates, people are making replacements for the plates, people are making replacements for the nuts. But if you can get all original, that's the one you want. Okay, let's move on to the LM. Okay, BBS LM. 20 bolts because they're two-piece. And these are an M7 by 24. They're a short bolt. Two-piece seats, not joined in, so there's your two pieces. All right. German BBS quality, really good quality wheels. They only have enough space here for one. They can be made into three-piece. It's a little bit of mucking around. Generally, what will happen is you will have to, if you make lips and barrels up for them, you will have to weld them together. Because this spigot here, and we'll get to that in a minute, this spigot here only has the thickness, or like one width thickness. So if it's thickness for like a lip or a barrel or the two-piece. If you put two in there, then half of it's hanging out in the breeze. So you basically got to line them, get them all lined up properly, weld them together around the seam, and then fit them on and bolt them back together. All right. On both of these wheels, you will notice that they have this little bit here. That's not a spigot. Okay. I put bids on a couple of these, and unfortunately won them both. But thoughtfully, somebody has already done the conversion. Okay, they've remounted this one. And this is a dumb idea on a couple of accounts, but it happens to these guys too. Both of these BBS LMs, all right, don't do this. I'll explain, and I'm going to pull this one apart because we've got to pull it apart, but there's a few reasons for it. Yeah, this is not a spigot, all right? What's a spigot, you might ask? Okay, let's have a look. Get rid of that one. This is like herding cats. Okay, this on the inside there, see that edge? That's a close fit onto where the lip and barrel, or the barrel in this case, in a two-piece case, fits onto the centre, okay? And there it is, right there. If you look at the front, see how this has been put on the front? Now, we've got a few dramas with that. One, look at that, I can fit my rule in between. So it's not centred. Doesn't fit in over there, fits in easily over here. So this is off centre. So as you're driving down the road, this is going to be going like this. Okay? Don't do it. The other thing that you might notice is, actually no. I'll take these downstairs and pull them apart, and I'll show you what the problems are with doing this to a BBS LM. Both of these wheels are 9 by 17 plus 35. It actually says 9J, all right, J, or JJ. Do you know what the J is? Everybody says I've got 9 Js, I've got 10 Js, I've got J. The J is this thing here that locks the tyre bead on. Okay, very early wheels didn't have them, and the tyre could, if it went down a bit, could actually de-bead. This actually holds the bead in place. That little bump there, that's a J. Okay? So the J's, you've got a 9-inch wide wheel, not a 9J. I've got 9 Js, I've got 10 Js, I've got 10 JJs. These are actually JJs because there's 2 Js on it, right? Nothing to do with the radio station. Okay, 9 by 17 ET35, or plus 35 in this case. ET, I don't know what the ET actually stands for, doesn't matter. So that's what the size is, and because it's a BBS, we know it's exactly that. I don't even have to measure it. So this one's been reversed. Let's have a bit of a look. Let's see what the story is. Where's my calculator gone? There it is. Okay, we've done this 100 times, but we'll do it again. So, 9, right? 9 inches wide. Between there and there, not the overall width of the wheel. Overall width of the wheel will be an inch wider, which is 10. Okay, so there's about half there. Well, there's a half an inch there, and there's a half an inch there. Generally, always. All right. So our overall width of the wheel is 257. 257. Now, we divide that by 2, that will give us the centre of the wheel. Divided by 2 equals 128.5. We take our rule, go down through the centre and measure from the table up to the base of the hub. And that is 109.5 minus 109.5 equals 19. So that's a plus 35, this is now a plus 19. So your gain is, where are we? 35 minus 19 equals 16 millimetres, so just over half an inch. So just over that width there, you're getting further in. not a spigot, 20 little bolts holding it together. Okay, back onto spigots. What does a spigot do? It centers everything up, it keeps everything compact, and it transfers the weight from here to the wheel center, so to the wheel hubs. And that's why this part here should also be on the, well, heavier cars. With the early cars, like my little Sunny truck doesn't have hubs on the rear, has them on the front but not on the rear. It's light, it's 700 and, with all the sound deadening and stuff I've put in, it's 788 kilos with half a tank of fuel. 788, these are designed for something that's like 1500, 1800, 2 tons. Okay, these will do the job. So sometimes well, I have had in the past where I just couldn't get the wheel balance right on my, this is how I learned about hubs, you know. I couldn't get the balance right, and I got a balance, and I got a balance, and I got a balance, and it was just until a mate of mine said, why don't you try some hub rings? We put the hub rings on so that they fit the centre, and my vibration went away. Now, mounting a wheel like that, it doesn't matter how much you set the hub up, it's not going to balance, it's not going to balance up nicely. Well, it's not going to be nice, because that's like your studs or lugs are centering up the wheel so well, but if the outside of the wheel is, you know, we had a bigger gap on one side than the other, so that means the actual barrel's going like this, you can't balance that out. It's like a permanent buckle. Puffing Billy going down the road. Okay, so as soon as the speed gets up there a little bit, it's not going to be fun. We'll get into the bolts downstairs when we pull it apart, but yeah, there we are. You've gained a little bit over that. Like, this is dangerous. Let's go downstairs, pull it apart, and we'll talk about that. Okie dokie, let's pull this thing down. That wasn't tightened to spec. And whoever did the conversion on this one has thoughtfully not included any Loctite. These are... I just had this one sitting on the bench, so I thought I might need the more heavy duty one, but apparently not. Right. These came with black and chrome bolts as per standard. So, and they are an M7 by 24 millimeters long. M7 by 24. That's when you measure bolts. Always just the shank length is it, unless it's a countersunk type bolt with the angle on the head. All right. Otherwise, they're like that. They're 24 millimeters long. Diameter, bit hard to measure with a rule. Verniers aren't expensive these days. There you go, 7 mil. Well, 6.9 because these ones are a little bit, how you going? M7 by 24. Just get that out of the way so I don't drop a wheel on it. The heads on them are 12 point. So that's a single hex. This is double hex. See the difference? All right, 12 point, you won't get a single hex onto a 12 point because it's doubled, but you will get just a standard socket. These are generally 8 millimeter on the bolt and a 10 millimeter on the nut. You don't have to use these ones. I generally toss these away. You'll find the nuts on these, because they cop a bit of a hard life in behind there, the chrome peels off and they get a bit rusty, so I just toss them and put just a normal 6 hex, so like a standard hex nut on them. I won't be reusing these black ones anyway, for 2 reasons. One, the other wheel is chrome, so I don't want to match them up together. And 2, there's another reason for not using these, but I'll get to that. Now, if you look closely here, you'll notice that the thread is just flush or poking out just a fraction. That's how it should be, right? So if we take the same one and we turn it around and put it in different, you notice that's sitting down, all right, the thread hasn't cut, it's about 1 thread short. Why is that, you reckon? I'll show you in a minute. Okay, we'll continue dismantling this thing. I'll get it done. All the bolts are out. We haven't taken the centre out yet. But first thing you notice is, see I can wobble that around in there? Shouldn't be like that. You know why? Because that's not a spigot. That's a spigot. There. And if you look closely, I don't know if I can get that on there, you'll notice a difference in the heights. Okay? That's because that's supposed to be there. When I was saying before about the single thickness on the spigot, this is the spigot here. Alright, that's the spigot on the wheel. That's it, right there. And that's the bit that's supposed to fit in close on that. The other thing that I'll point out now is when you mount these things from the back, do you notice it's got a little relief where the bolt head's supposed to fit in? Right, fits in like that. So when you bolt the other side, when you bolt this in from the back, your screw is pulling down on a void. It's squeezing that into a void, which is just really not a flash idea. You can't feel any bending there, mainly because this weren't done up tight enough and there was no Loctite on them. You can see where the original Loctite has been, and you can see that it's bare on the end where the nut's been taken off and nothing's been added. So when these are put together correctly, there's no movement, and there's no movement because there's no gap. See, that's a tight fit. There's absolutely no movement there whatsoever, and that's how it should be. The other thing about these and the Modenas is when you reverse mount them, yeah, that's a good fit. This, if it's bolted in backwards, that's absolutely 90 degrees square and flat. If we put that flat, you'll notice there's a gap under the front. And there's a gap under the front because these faces aren't parallel. They are like that. So when we put our bolt in there, put it back to front, it's pulling down on a void and it's bending this little bolt over as well. So this is why I'm not going to reuse them, even though they probably haven't been done up as hard, but I'm not going to reuse them anyway because they've been bent. The hole that they've got to go into is pulling down like that. When it's pulling down on that front surface, because it's like that, it's pulling the centre down at an angle, and it's pulling down onto a void. So, and here's the thing, that centre fits down onto the, that barrel fits down onto the spigot. That's what's transferring the weight from the barrel onto the centre. So we reverse mount them, the bolt is now doing that job. So the weight that's, instead of, like the bolt's job in this case is to hold the wheel together. Put it back to front like that, it's got to hold the wheel together and transfer the weight of the car to the centre. It's an M7 by 24 and there's 20 of them. Okay, you see the problem here? And it's pulling down on a void. Or it reminds me of that same guy like, well, it hasn't failed on me yet. Anyway, all right, so that's a BBS LM. Let's have a look at the Autostrada. So the Autostrada, as I mentioned before, they use a high tensile stainless steel bolt, right? Don't throw them away. They're really good. If you want to, like, the nuts go a bit rusty and crappy, but the bolts will never rust. So you should hang on to those. This high tensile stainless steel is, well, they're difficult to get these days. So you always hang on to these bolts. And the interesting thing for a three-piece wheel, standard bolt generally in a three-piece wheel will be an M7 by 32. The Modena, on the other hand, uses an M7 by 25. Your M7 by 24s are a little bit too short, as you can see. So replacement bolts, M7 by 24 is a little bit short, and the M7 by 32 is too long. Actually, have I got any of those floating around? As a matter of fact, I do. If we have a look in the back here, where's the one I took out? As you can see there, it's sticking out a fair bit further than what it actually needs to. The other thing, the heads on these are very finicky. This little relief here has been designed for those bolts. That's the difference between a BBS and an Autostrada bolt. So that one won't fit. That head will absolutely not. Where the hell did it go? There. Absolutely not fit. Even the standard M7, 12 millimeters, just over 12 millimeters, about 12.1 mil. This one is the smallest head I can find, and it's 13. Let's measure the hole, or the relief, 12.79. So this one doesn't actually fit in there either. I suppose you could pull it down in there, but like, why stress it? Why not just use the standard bolts, if you can? Okay. The other thing, again, about these, I'm not going to go and pull everything out. That is not a spigot there. It's a different size. So the end where you can rattle the centre around in that. And again, your bolt is pulling down on a void. And again, this spigot, or this tang on the wheel itself is not parallel. It's like that. So anything you bolt down that is, well, you can't use these bolts for a start. These ones are quite a bit deeper. This is about 1.5 millimeters deep. So your nut, actually, let's measure it. Oh, it's nearly 2 mil, 1.9 millimeters deep. So the rest of those bolts on the back there look like pretty much dead flush, like that, right? So we button that out, 1.9 millimeters. That's how it's going to be. Okay, if you reverse mount it. It's your light. Well, it's not just, this is the thing. You know, Mr. Oh, it hasn't failed on me yet. You think it's just your light? It's not. Okay, what if one of these is on the front and you're doing 110 down the freeway and your front wheel collapses or falls off? How much control have you? You don't have any brakes, so you've only got one braking wheel. It's going to turn hard, and good chances are you're going to take somebody else out at the same time, all because you want just over half an inch more poke on your car. Don't do it, it's dumb. Getting back to Modenas. There's another reason that I like Modenas too, and I'll show you what that is. All right, so we've been through the 16-inch, the 17-inch, the 2-piece and the 3-piece all use the same centre, right? Okay, the other thing about it is they are all flat back. What do I mean when I say flat back? See this face here? It's flat, as opposed to our BBS LM that have the cutouts in between. So when it comes to versatility, this is awesome. You can re-drill it to anything. 4x100, 5x114, that's 4x114 at the moment, but you can go to 5x114, you can do whatever you want. These are Autostrada Modenas are really good wheels. So what have we learned? Okay, BBS LMs, terrific wheel, really good quality, 20 bolts, can be made 3-piece. 3 pieces, if you turn them into a 3-piece, they have to be welded. They've only got 20 bolts. A proper 3-piece wheel has 40 in this particular size, and it's about the other video that I'll put up here now. It's all about the bolt gap. See, this has got a big bolt gap and this has got a small one. It's that bolt gap. Okay, we go to 3-piece and they're not welded together. That will flex in between those bolts, the lip or the barrel, most probably the barrel, because there's more leverage out to there, and that will flex and fatigue and crack, and then your tyre will go down. Okay, so they need to be welded, can be turned into 3-piece, they need to be welded. Awesome quality, BBS wheels, all of them are awesome quality, they're really good wheels. The Autostrada Modena, what have we learned? We've learned, A, you say it Modena, not Modena, okay? The bolts are stainless steel, high tensile stainless steel, don't throw them away. They're a unique size. Okay, it's got lots of pieces. They're super versatile. You can re-drill them to everything. They're all flat back. You can have 2-piece, you can have 3-piece, you can do whatever you want. Okie dokie. 2 really cool wheels. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I forgot to say that at the front again. Like and subscribe. And we will see you next time on the Barrel Brothers channel. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves.